Alrighty, so I'm back working on the Z. I took a little bit of a couple day break. I went out of town. Now I'm back to mostly finish this up. Getting the timing chain all set up on the Z. Uh, and also I've decided that since I've got good access to this side of the engine, I'm going to just replace these 2, 3, 4, 5 freeze plugs that are on this side. 4 plugs, whatever you want to call them. Like, hopefully get a lot of the rest of the scale out of the engine. That may have also been causing an overheat situation. And I'm just going to kind of discuss about how to put this gear on. I just got it on there. I don't have it tightened down or anything. But basically, on the timing chain, there are two little links that are different color from the rest of the links. Usually they're a lighter color, but sometimes they give me a darker color. Anyway, this link is technically supposed to be on this side. I think because when this cylinder is up, I think it's technically on the exhaust stroke. But since I got the head all tightened down and torqued down and everything, it's on the wrong side. So I'm going to ignore this mark for now. There are 2 other marks to worry about, and I think those are more important anyway. But anyway, on the timing gear, there are 3 numbers with the corresponding dot. Those are the initial timing marks that line up with that silver or black or whatever the different color link. Generally, 1 is 0 degrees, 2 I think is +4, and 3 is +8 degrees. Those all help compensate for timing chain slack. Because over time, this chain does wear out, and yeah, and those help compensate for that. But I'm going to ignore those for now because, like I said, this link's on the wrong side. It's supposed to be over here somewhere. And on the gear itself, there's a little slot cut into where the hub kind of fits onto the camshaft. And on the retaining plate, there's like a little dash mark. You want to get that dash mark just before or just after the little dish, somewhere around there. I'll put the corrections up on the screen when I get to them. And that's basically how you set the timing. First, you want to make sure that the engine itself is at 0 degrees. Top dead center, and you want to make sure these are all pointed right. And yeah, have to get that set down and you verified it and everything. You're gonna take this bolt. I used the bolt off of the N42 camshaft because it's in better condition than the one that came on this engine. You torque that down to I think 106 foot-pounds. So yeah, quite a bit. But generally, tighten this down. You don't have to worry about the engine moving around a little bit because it's in time. But you do want to use like a big wrench like this. Grab it on these ears and do it like that. Try to make sure it doesn't move too much. But that's basically how you time the engine. I'm gonna go and verify that I got my information correct before I set it all up. After I get it all tightened down and everything, I'll be able to pull that tool out. And I'll pretty much finish all that off. But anyway, let me go ahead and verify everything, and I get back to you as soon as I get those freeze plugs done, or plugs, whatever you want to call them. So I'll see you in just a little bit. So I played around with it for a bit, and I got it set to the number 2 position, and that dash is right at that slot. Apparently the slot is supposed to be just before that line. And well, this is about as close as I can get. You know, I haven't tried the number 3 position, but battery started to die on me. That's how I was spinning the engine. I don't feel like fighting that right now, so I'm gonna call it good enough. And so this chain's probably worn out too, but I'll deal with that another day. I'm just going to go ahead and torque this bolt down. Like I said, it goes up to, I think it's 106 foot-pounds. And I'll start popping out those freeze plugs, core plugs, whatever you want to call them. So yeah, let me go ahead and get all that done, and probably call it a day. Because I need to get oil to do an oil change on it, and I gotta clean up the intake. I gotta replace some vacuum lines. I gotta figure out what I'm doing with this tube, since this tube's got a big hole in it. And yeah. Anyway, let me go ahead and get some of this other stuff knocked out. I'll see y'all in just a bit. Alrighty, so I got all the freeze plugs popped out. For the most part, they're not looking too bad. There is still a little bit of pitting, but you know, these were still technically good. I mean, they weren't leaking, but as you can see, yeah, look at that one. That one's completely clogged up. That right there is probably the overheating problem. The coolant jacket, at least on the bottom half of the engine, is completely plugged up. So yeah, I kind of think I probably should just replace this engine rather than trying to fix it up. Yeah. So I'm gonna try to clean it out as best as possible, but I don't really have access to the freeze plugs on the other side, except for that one I replaced, and I think there's only probably two over there. I'm hoping getting all this crap out here on this side will pretty much fix the problem, because the water goes up and over and out this way. So yeah, what I'm gonna try to do, I'm gonna, of course, put the valve cover, just place the valve cover back on so I don't get no moisture into there, more than what's already been put into there. But I'm gonna get my hose and, you know, just like spray a lot of this out and dig it out as well, because yeah, this is completely plugged up. I don't know, man. I think this engine's done. Yeah, I think this engine might be done. I mean, theoretically, it is restorable. You tear it all apart, take the machine shop, they'll hot dip the block in the acid tank, and of course bake all the grease out of it and all that. That'll pretty much take all the rust out. But I'm concerned that the cylinder jugs are compromised, and they could start cracking, which will then, one, leak exhaust gases into the coolant system again, therefore rendering the efficiency of the coolant inoperable, because you got 1200 degree gases going to a 120 degree coolant system, thereabout, thus making the coolant a lot hotter, so it's not cooling down the engine. And also, because it's got a crack in the cylinder, it'll leak coolant into the cylinder, thus causing the white smoke out of the exhaust pipe, and that sweet smell that you get from burning coolant. Crap. Now, fortunately, this engine's not hard to replace. It's the couple bolts on the motor mounts on both sides. I already got pretty much all this stuff disconnected. Just got to disconnect the AC compressor and the radiator fan, and probably move the whole radiator out of the way. And there's just a couple bolts on the transmission, and that's basically it. And it all comes out right out, since I'm already this far into it. The hardest part about putting the new motor in is just getting the spline up to the transmission, which when I do that, I'll probably replace the clutch and all that, just so, and then pull that in the bud. So I think my throw-out bearing is a little noisy on this transmission as well, but I don't know. But yeah, I think this engine is probably no good. So I thought, it's just a, oops. I, I thought it was just a little bit of rust scale in there, just like, floating around the cooling system, doing its thing, but no. There's no way that thermometer is going to clean all that out, because it's all plugged up, and, that's bad. That's bad. That's, like, bad, dude. I think this engine's done. Like, that's solid right there. I probably dig it out with a screwdriver, but I don't know, man. That's something I'm going to have to think over. But I think this motor's done. At least done to where I'm able to deal with. Now, there are a couple other motors around here that are for sale, so I'll think it over. Alrighty, so I got the inside of the block cleaned out as well as I can. See, I'm in the middle of putting the flush spots back in. And water now flows pretty good from back here to the front, and even from the exit all the way down. So hopefully that fixes the overheating issue. So yeah, I decided that if it still overheats and has a problem after all this work, I'm just going to replace this engine. I'm going to see if I can find just a replacement engine, just a regular NA engine. However, if a turbo engine just pop up for sale that's near me, I'll probably go ahead and grab that. But it's going to be kind of difficult because of this power steering box in the way. Apparently the turbo sits like right here. It hits it, gets up into this. That's why I decided. That's why if I do go for force induction, it'll be a method of supercharging. But that's later on in the future if I even decide to do that. Right now I just want this thing running. But yep. I'm gonna finish these three and do the other two on the other side. I only pulled out the two plugs on the other side, and it seemed like the other side was fine, which is weird because the block leans towards the passenger side, so the passenger side is lower than the driver's side. But I guess because I did replace the one plug on the front right corner, that I was able to get most of the crap out of there. So yeah, finish putting the other 5 caps back in, or plugs. Put the block plug back in, and get finished on putting the intake and stuff on here, back on this engine. The intake, the thermostat housing, the exhaust, all the vacuum lines. Though I might research what I could bypass on the intake, because I don't have all the vacuum lines I need, and that's just a mess. I know I need the one for the vacuum advance. I need one for the charcoal canister, which that's already on its own thing. And I need one for the AC vents, though I'm not worried about those right now because the AC doesn't work, and neither does the heat. And yeah, that's basically it. Oh, and of course the brake boost. The brake boost is on its own thing, so I'm not worried about that. But yeah. So anyway, let me go ahead and get this finished up. I'll probably get back to y'all once I get ready to fire this thing back up. So that way it gives me time to kind of collect myself, get everything all together, make sure everything's correct. Then I'll go and fire it up, and hopefully it works. Still a little worried about this head because it is technically an N42 head, but I think it's been modified for a round port exhaust or something. Or this is an aftermarket cast of a N42 head, which I guess is also possible. And the corrosion I found underneath where the gasket surface is kind of does worry me. I'm worried that it's going to be burning coolant. or I'll have low compression on cylinder 5 because of it. And yeah. Either way, but if I don't, if all that works out fine and I'm perfectly fine, and this head, which is supposed to be on this engine, will definitely pick this the power on this engine up quite a bit. Anyway, let me go finish this off. Yeah, so see y'all in a little bit.